Oh man, we live, baby, we live. We lit, baby, we lit. Cheers! Hey, Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Come on, holiday greeting and everything. Come on, what you lot saying? Kemetic Christmas and that. Cheers! Gang, 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 gang. I'm just gonna wait for you lot just to roll in real quickly. I know some of you guys might be eating that turkey right now, so this is gonna be a perfect opportunity to be entertained, be educated, and have some fun. And we're fellowshipping right now. This is the time where we really need to come together as communities and families and fellowship and just have fun with each other, share gifts with each other, reminisce on the greatness of the Christ together. Come on, let's do this, baby. So, of course, you already know who got up in the building with me. Let me see if I can do this. Let me know if the audio is coming in fine for both of us. Ready? Cheese! Who is that? Who is that? That's the medicine man right there.
Yes, sir. What's
Yes,
poppin'? What's
sir. What's
poppin'?
poppin'? What's
Very
poppin'? Very
Christmas, you know?
Christmas,
Christmas
very
for
Christmas
Cheese!
everybody,
for
you know?
The
everybody,
Christ has returned, baby. The Christ has returned. Listen, I am enjoying life. I'm waiting. See, as you was just saying, yeah, some people have eaten their foods already. We're
Yeah,
still
yeah.
here waiting for
Yeah,
our
yeah.
food to arrive and that. But you know
Mm,
what? I've got keeping me
Mm,
company right now. You know I
there
got
you
keeping
go.
me company
there
right
you go.
now.
There you
Let
go.
me let me just
There
show
There
you
you.
you
go.
go.
Let me
There
actually
you
show you why I got keeping company right now. You know the way it's there. Got a little
Oh,
you know,
Oh,
got the little
Remy, yeah?
VSOP keeping me
Remy, yeah?
company right now. You know, it's only sometimes we bring out the
Sure, sure.
drinks and that.
All
Remy,
right.
sure.
Remy
Yeah,
Mm,
Ma,
huh?
yeah?
mm,
Little
Remy
Remy Ma.
Ma, yeah? Little Remy Ma.
a little Remy Martin. Cheers. So yeah, the family's up in the building. We're gonna be speaking about Christmas. We're going to be speaking about the Nativity. We're going to be going into a little bit of Christianity. We're going to be going into Kemetic information, how this relates to Africa and Kemet, and the people of that heritage as well. And we're going to have a lot of fun, because you know what? I've been scrolling through and I've been seeing like a lot of detractors for Christianity. Oh, it's a pagan festival. Oh, such and such and such and such and such, like, and all this noise. And it's like, oh god damn, like, can't we just enjoy life? Like, regardless if you believe or you disbelieve, like, can't you just enjoy life? This is the one time of year where most of us don't actually have to go into work. It's the one time of year that most of us have the opportunity to link up with like the rest of our extended family. It's the one time of year where we really get to feast and eat some marvelous foods. It's that one time of year that we get to experience the joy and grace of gift giving and being generous and charitable towards others and to our fellow human beings. Let us just embark on the mission of embracing and celebrating that aspect, at least if you don't believe. You dig? At least. Oh man. So you saying, Gabs, talk to me.
Yeah, man. I'm just here,
Yeah,
man.
man, I'm just here, man.
I just want to make sure that my
I just
mic
want to make
isn't
sure
still
that my
messing up
mic
again. I
isn't
just
still
took out the
messing up again. I
headphones.
just took out the
Just want to
headphones.
check with the people.
So I
Is
just
it
want to
still
check with the
good?
people.
Is
Is
it all
it
right?
still good? Is it all right?
Let us know,
Sure.
family. Let us know in the comment
Yo,
section. Let us know if the microphones are in check. Everything is blessed. Let us know. And we got Ultra Funk KK's up in the building. He's already dropped the super chat. Could see him. Jeez. We've also got Scattered Minds. He's bigging you up. He said, Medicine, the medicine man is up
Yes,
in the
sir.
building.
Sir.
Jeez. Wisdom of Young Lion. Peace, blessings. I would like to jump on, still ready to, yeah, definitely ready to learn. All right, cool. Yeah, we're going to be sending the links out very soon where you can join. Of course, it's going to be still not good, Gabs. It's echo. So you know what? Let me go on to the separate cameras. If it's echoing,
Mm.
I'm gonna go onto my camera first, and hopefully there is no echo there. Then I will go onto Gabs's camera, and then there should be no problems as long as we don't clash. So yeah, Gabs, say something.
Hello, family. Peace, peace. Is everything better now, or is it still echoing?
All right, let us know, family. Let us know. Let us know if like the single screen is fine and you're hearing Gabs without an echo, or whether the double screen creates an echo or not. Okay, so it might be just the double screen that's creating echo, or if it's just Gabs has fixed his mic. I don't know. So let us know if it's might be my problem, might be my fault for doing the double screen. So yeah, let me quickly get into this then. So those of you guys who actually would like to join us, we're going to be dropping the email for those of you lot who don't already have the email. I believe it's kalaml@outlook.com. Okay, kalaml@outlook.com. Y'all know how to spell my name already. KALAMEL@outlook.com. And that way you can add me via Skype and we can get you on to the calls. Okay? Perfect. Oh man, Veli, Vision, G Block, Peace Family, big up everyone in the chat room and the panel. Yeah, buddy. Listen, fam, when you're ready, holler at me, yeah? Okay, so teach, let me know. So Gabs, what you saying to me, family? Can we just do a little recap? What's going on?
Just yeah, man. Just a quick recap. Peace to everyone. I hope everyone's enjoying themselves. But yeah, let's get into a quick recap. For those of you that tuned in to the last show that we did, we just touched on the little things in the Bible. I just want to bring some bits up to see if just in case there's some new people that didn't get to catch the show or anything like that. One of the questions that I threw in, because it's going to be part of a little presentation I'm going to do about, Jesus in the Bible. Who is he? What is he? And is he the son of God? Is he just a man? Is he a prophet? So that's going to be part of my show. And one of the questions, I delved into the Bible, and one of the verses that I brought up was, I think the brother Kalam can get it up in the screen. I'll rather do that so you can see. That's Matthew 23, verse 34. Please, brother. So the people can have a look-see. And then also, for those that's in the chat and that's watching now, you can actually go on your computer or your Bible and get this verse up as well. And just save it, store it. So you wait for the screen share.
The screen share is on. I don't know if everybody can hear your voice whilst I'm doing the screen share. But there it is. I'll quickly read it out and then I'll bring it back to you to just explain. And it says here, wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily, I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee. How often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered her chickens under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house left unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord.
Powerful.
So
Big. All right, so as you can see there, powerful verses there. Matthew 23 verse 34. Mark that down in your books, in your diaries, in your notepads, and have a read, and then tell me what you think. Because this is a question that I threw out. One of the questions that I threw out was, according to biblical narrative and Islamic narrative, who is the one that sends prophets and messengers? Ultimately, who is the one guy, the one man? Well, we don't know whether he's male or female, but the one entity that sends prophets and messengers to the earth. Yeah. And as you can see in that verse, this is Jesus speaking. So, don't wanna throw the answer in your mouth, but do the calculations yourself. So let me know, people in the comment section, some of you that weren't there on the show. I told people to get involved and let me know. So you can write a little description there. Who is it that sends prophets and messengers? You can get ahead. So you can write it down. And let's see how much people what answers we get from the people in the chat room.
All right. So yeah, let me come back to this view. Let me know, family, if this view is okay or if there is actually an echo, because I would prefer to have it on this particular view. All right, so we've got both of us up in here, two handsome, strong men. God damn. Anyways, so real quickly, let me come back to this as well. I actually asked the question before as well. I'll reiterate it, but I actually want to move on. And the question was, what does the word Christ actually mean? And then obviously those know, it's been interpreted to mean the Messiah. And then I asked the further follow-on question, which is part of the same thing, just so everybody gets there. What does the Messiah mean? And the Messiah obviously means the anointed, okay, one who has been anointed. And then I further asked the question, at what point in Jesus's career or life or ministry was he actually anointed to be called the anointed one? That was the question. We left the show on a cliffhanger on that. And we was waiting for everybody else to chime in and come up with their answers and responses. And I was hoping that you'd all drop it inside of the comment section down below. Hurry up and drop it. Like, what point was he anointed? Do we know? So that was going to be very powerful. Very, very powerful. So I'll leave you with that. I'm going to leave that in your minds to just, matriculate inside of your brain cells. And we'll do that. But I actually wanted to quickly jump on this. I wanted to jump on the nativity, the nativity of Christ, the birth of Christ. Christmas, where Christmas actually gets its name. The coming together of the folks to recognize the birth of this great individual that incarnated on this earthly plane for the benefit of humanity. Amen, amen. So yeah, I actually wanted to discuss that. Let me know if everything is good. We're listening. Cool. Yeah. All right. So I want to discuss that real quickly. And I want to talk about the Kemetic relationship as well, because I'm finding there is a bit of apprehension amongst those of us who are conscious of Kemetic. Because, and I'm going to be very blunt with this, because what we perceive as Christianity has left a nasty taste in our mouth. What we kind of, how can I put it? What's that? Not symbolic. The relationship. Most of us who are conscious now, understand the relationship that Christians within inside of the 15th, 16th century had on Africans, i.e. slavery and so forth. So because of that, and I'm not saying that is a wrong thing, it's left a nasty taste in the mouth, and we now have a disposition against Christianity and against Christmas and so forth. And I'm alright. I hear you, baby. I hear you. I ain't gonna knock you for doing that. I'm not gonna knock you for doing that. But at the same time, I actually want to discuss something that isn't really touched upon. I want to touch upon how the Kemetics of antiquity viewed Christmas, how the Kemetics of antiquity viewed the birth of Jesus, how the Kemetics of antiquity viewed the coming of the so-called Christ. That's going to be real interesting. What are you saying, Gabs?
Yeah, man, I'm here, man. I'm
I'm here, man. I'm waiting to hear this still.
Wait to hear this, because
Wait to
boy,
hear this,
that's
because
some
boy,
information
that's some information that I need to
listen to.
listen to.
I'm waiting.
I'm itching. I'm
Let's
waiting.
go.
And I can't
Let's
wait,
go.
because of course we're going to have a lot of people coming on very shortly, because we're going to say some very controversial things, and some of these controversial things we're going to do, how can I say, we're going to tease people with these controversial things. And usually, the shows, they're just jam-packed with sources and information. I'm going to hold tight for that. Because we want to stir up a little fuss and buzz right now, and we don't want to be disrespectful, because again, this is Christmas, right? We want to actually honor and respect the Christ in this moment in time. So there is an echo. So let me actually bring it on over here to me. It's my beautiful face. All right, cool. So of course, like, for those of you guys who do not know me and do know me, and those who don't know my Kemetic stance, right? My Kemetic stance, there's a lot when we speak about Kemet. Again, there is a lot of Kemetic communities, right? Some of us have come from a Kemetic initiatory system that has a tradition dating back thousands of years that's witnessed a whole lot of stuff, and it's within inside of our records. And we hold on to, for example, Jesus, number one, and most fundamentally, was obviously educated in the mystery school systems, the sacred sciences of Kemet. That's us. I'm not going to tell you lot to believe that or whatever the case is. I'm just going to say this is according to our records. This is what we have. We can prove that any day of the week, but this is what we hold on to be true. Secondly, we also hold on to the evident truth that the Messiah, Jesus, of 2,000 years ago, okay, of 2,000 years ago, he was of Kemetic or ancient Egyptian heritage. If he wasn't, then he wasn't the Messiah. If he wasn't, then he wasn't the Messiah. Every Jew understands what I'm talking about, okay? Because we go on to the conversation of there's two Messiahs to come, one being of the lineage of Egypt and the other being the lineage of Jerusalem and the kingly orders and so forth. But that's for another day, for another story, right? Because I know I don't want to bore you lot with that information. So those are the two things, the two claims that we have as Kemetics, all right? And the third thing I would like to say is that we have records of saying that we were the first, okay, to acknowledge the time of Jesus Christ, the time of the coming of the Son of Man. For those of you who don't know, our prophecies, okay, I'm going to have to teach this to the Kemetic folk, because the Kemetic folk don't know this. Because I listen to y'all talk, and I'm like, but wait, don't you actually read out scriptures? Don't you realize that we also have a Messiah King? We also have prophecies of the Son of Man to come, who is going to be the Redeemer of the world. Y'all don't know this? And it's evident that some, I'm not saying all, okay, don't get me twisted when I say this. I'm not saying all Kemetics or the people who practice the ancient Kemetic way and philosophy and mystery system and cult systems, they didn't all accept Jesus to being the Christ, the Messiah, the Son of Man, the Son of God, and so forth, the Sarah of their time. They didn't accept that. But some, according to biblical, gospel, and apocryphal information, accepted him as such. Jesus. So we're going to go into some powerful information, baby. We're going to go into some powerful information. Gabs, come to you real quickly.
Yeah, yes, brother. I'm here. You hear me? Yeah, 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 man. That's some big information that you're gonna be dropping on there, man. Trust me. I can see already. I think I got a brother. Walt, is it Walter? Walter said, "Christ was a genius in worldly standards. Stop being ignorant." Kalam, you are lost. That's coming from Walter. You know. Okay, Walter. Christ could bring people back to life. Who taught him that? Well, brother Walter, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna delve into the information, Walter. We're gonna delve into that information. Just sit tight. Buckle your seatbelt and just enjoy the ride. But big up to everyone that's in the chat room. I hope everybody's liking the content. Hit the like button, get them thumbs up, and me and the brother Kalam are gonna be dispensing some more information. Also, still, I didn't see anyone in the comment section dropping the answer to the question. I said who or what entity sends prophets and messengers to the world. I'm still waiting to see everybody's answers in the comment section for those that are listening. Please, so start dropping them in. Boom, boom, boom.
Jeez. All right, we back, baby. We back. I just want to read out some of these comments. Remember, we ain't here for a long time, but we are definitely here for a good time. Let's see. We've been here for like 20 minutes. Gabs, how long you got left? Because we want to do a very fast show.
Yeah, but it's gonna be quick because I'm on borrowed time right now.
Jeez. All right. You dig? So we're going to be doing a very quick show, and that's why we would love to stimulate questions and on here as well, and leave open-ended questions so y'all can think about it. And when we actually do a whole long show, then you guys can really just learn something and come on here and actually participate as well in full. So yeah. Let me quickly go into this. So, of course, we're going to speak about the nativity of Jesus Christ. This here, like most people know about Christmas, but we talk about it from what people say the pagan elements, which is of course Santa Claus and things of that nature, right? But we're going to speak about Jesus and talk about where it's really coming from. It's coming from the scriptures. It's coming from the Gospels of Matthew and the Gospels of Luke, and it's talking about Jesus being born and being presented with inside of a manger. Some people say a cave, some people say an inn, and so forth. And then there was these supposed wise men who came, okay, to announce this. And actually, you know what? Let's actually do some reading of scriptures. Actually, let's do some reading of scriptures if we can, because it's always fun. It's always fun to do some reading of scriptures. All right. So over here we got. Let's go to, let's say, Matthew, I believe. Who knows? Matthew. Let's go to that Matthew. This is what we're celebrating right now. For those people who don't know, of course, Mark doesn't have it. John doesn't have it. So we're lucky for people like Matthew for recording and reporting certain events. Some of these events, are actually allegorical and figurative, but most Christians won't accept it as such. So we'll just keep on speaking. So let's see, where are we talking about? When the king had departed. All right, cool. So we have now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born, King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. All right, so from Matthew 2:1 is very significant, right? It's very, very significant onwards. We're going to continue reading, but I think it's imperative for us. Let me come back and see myself. I think it's very imperative for us to actually break down the reasons as to why we actually are celebrating Christmas. I'm waiting for my Christians to kind of bring forth, like over here, we deal with information, right? We deal with consciousness, we deal with knowledge. So we have to bring forth the sources of where these things come from and the reasons behind why we are celebrating certain things, okay? And this here is going to give you some of those reasons as to why we are celebrating Christmas or as to why we're having a holiday and so forth, right? So let's go back into this. And it says here, so now we established that we have these wise men or the Magi who come and are saying like, where is this king? Where is he that is born of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, all right? And are come to worship him. Imagine that. So before anybody else, actually, let me break this down a bit further though. Let me actually break this down, to be honest with you, because I think it's imperative that we break it down. Before anybody else worship Jesus Christ, okay, as the Christ, as the Messiah, but worship Jesus, it was these wise men. It was these wise men were the first to worship him, was the first to acknowledge him as being the King of the Jews, as being the Messiah, and so forth. Imagine that. And these people, mind you, according to all scholars, aren't actually Jews. Right? They're not Jews. They are what most people would call pagans. Imagine that. Most people will refer to them as pagans or Gentiles, right? Imagine that. So when people say, oh, Christmas is a pagan holiday, well, you're not too far off, to be honest with you. I'm not going to say it is, but you're not too far off, because the first individuals to actually acknowledge him, Jesus, were the so-called pagans, were the so-called Magi. Magi is just short for saying the magicians, mind you. We now coat it with words like wise men. But anybody that knows the term Magi or Magos, it literally means a magician, right? So these magicians who practice a form of astronomy and astrology, at that time they weren't separate, okay, acknowledged via their wisdom and their knowledge the coming of the Son of Man, the coming of the Messiah. But we don't get taught this though. Honestly speaking, we don't get taught this, but I will proceed nonetheless. You have to just break things down so people can just fully understand. Let's continue though. Let's continue. All right. And it says here, when Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. So these Magi, these magicians, came and talked about the king of the Jews was being born. And of course, Herod is of course the king of the Judean peninsula at that particular Judean region as such. He's the ruler. And even the rest of the Jerusalemites, i.e. the high priests and so forth, everybody is kind of troubled. Like, what's going on here? What do you mean a king is born? Anyways, continues. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes and of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea. And just to give you like a little commentary here, this is half true. This is half true. He is to be born in Bethlehem of Judea, but that's the wrong Christ. I know everybody's going to be a bit like, what do you mean it's the wrong Christ? Wrong Christ. Wrong Christ. Remember the Jews were expecting a particular form of Messiah who was a warrior king that was here to destroy the Romans? That's another Christ be. But that's for a story for another day. All right, let's continue. For thus it is written by the prophet, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judea, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people of Israel. That's the very first prophecy that's actually spoken about in Matthew. Powerful, very, very powerful. Let's continue. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, in private, obviously, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. Really? You're going to worship him? Really? Really? And we are supposed to believe that? But anyways, let's continue. When they had heard the king, imagine this, you know. Can you imagine? Wait. Can you imagine, yeah, what Herod was thinking at that moment in time? Like, these magicians, these wise men, these people who practice a certain thing, have now come. They've traveled all this way, far, far and wide. Okay? Far and wide. Very rich caravan of individuals. They must have obviously traveled to Jerusalem, Bethlehem, and so forth, right? And must have went to say, oh, the king is to be born. Let's go and check Herod. Hey, Herod, where's your son? Oh, you have no son? Imagine, this must be the case, right? You've come like, oh, you have no son? So Herod's like, fam, what do you mean, like, the king is to be born? Can you imagine that? Like, so what you're saying, there's going to be a king outside of me who's going to rule Jerusalem? Nah, you lot are smoking crack, fam. I'm not allowing that. Well, that's what the story wishes to imply. I'm just kind of breaking it down. All right. Anyways, so let's continue. It says here, when they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. Now, this is quite peculiar, though. If you do not read this allegorically, or figuratively, should I say, you're going to have troubles. Because the reason why I say you're going to have troubles is because we all know that stars do not move in that accord. Unless you want to say it's a UFO looking like creature, looking like instrument. But anyways, that's another story for another day. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they came home into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. Family, this is why today, on Christmas Day, we actually give presents to one another. Because we are now emulating, if not, God damn it, copying what these pagan magicians actually did. Now, of course, we hold that these Magi, or these magicians, are actually of the Kemetic order. But just to be fair with everybody, I just want to be fair with everybody, because I don't want to, taint the boat and say these Magi's, they've been reported to be of African, to be of Arabian, and to be of Persian descent. There's supposedly 3 of them. Now, this ain't supposedly the case, but according to tradition, there was 3 of them of 3 different regions that came together. All right. And it's also reported, again, as I said, Egyptian, either Egyptian. It's been reported that these Magi were, or Ethiopian. I'm just gonna just give you that, just so you have some knowledge. So these pagan, okay, because they're not Jews, so anything outside of Judaism is Gentile information or pagan information. You could be a righteous pagan, like people like Enoch, like people like Abraham, and so forth. They were the righteous Gentiles or the righteous pagans, but they're not of the Judaic lineage, okay? Just to give you a quick breakdown of that. But yeah, these pagans who were magicians, who were astronomers, they were the first to celebrate the birth of Christ. They were the first to give gifts that we are today copying and emulating. Just to throw that out there. Just to throw it out there. Like, if y'all want to say something different, say something different. But I just want to throw that out there real quickly. We have to just celebrate that real quickly. Anyways, and being warned of God in a dream. But you know what? These gifts were very important, symbolic. Should I break down what they mean real quickly? Gabs, do we have time to break down what these gifts actually mean?
Go ahead. Yeah, you can do if you can.
Real quickly though, these gifts, obviously, gifts of gold. Gold is obviously, all right. These gifts, technically speaking, they are of initiatory importance, very initiatory importance. What I say by initiatory importance is this: that most of us from African cultures, I don't know, Gabs, like when one of your children are born, what happens?
From a what? From a Nigerian perspective? Well, boy. From a Nigerian perspective, everyone, the family gathers together. And actually, yeah, you have a little ceremony where everyone comes and brings gifts and stuff. You come to bless the child. You get one of the elders that come and do prayers on the child and stuff like that. So yeah, and then even then, and then there's another process after that where you have the naming ceremony. That's another whole thing in itself. Then you have another ceremony of even the child being bathed and stretched, like arms and legs and everything. You have another little ceremony of bathing and making sure the bones and everything's right. There's quite a few steps a few things that you have to be fair.
I like that. You see where you mentioned this? If you go into the Apocryphal Gospels or the Infancy Gospels, you see some of those things being mentioned still. Most people don't know that. Yeah. 100%.
Okay, but yeah, that's what happens, bro. That's what happened to me.
Bro. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to my cousins, everyone. Yeah, that's just what we do.
All right. So back to it now, real quickly. All right. But these gifts, of course, they also represent, the gift of gold. Well, the three gifts, technically speaking, they represent the tripartite office of who we know to be the Messiah. Okay. It originated obviously in the order of Melchizedek, but just to really break it down, because of course Melchizedek was the first kingly priest prophet. Okay, he was the one who first had the tripartite officehood. Okay, but obviously in Israel you have the three separate offices given to three separate individuals. Okay, so you have a king or a prince, you have a priest, and then you have the order of the prophets. Okay, these are three different orders and systems that's been set up and established to educate them and school them and to bring them into that particular way of doing things. So of course the goal is to do with the kingly order. The incense, of course, is to do with the priestly order, and of course the oil, or sorry, the myrrh, which is used in the anointing oil for one to be a Messiah. Okay, and for each of those things, anyway, in order to be a Messiah, you're a Messiah of either one of the three classes. In this case, Messiah, Jesus, was of the three different classes. But you either get anointed, in order to be a Messiah, you have to be anointed. And it's either have to be by the anointing oil of prophecy. So you get the anointing oil smeared all over you, and now you will be a prophet initiated in that. There's the anointing oil of the priests. If you go into Leviticus and stuff, you will learn about that. And then there's, of course, the anointing oil of the king. These are the three things that you are anointed into being somebody of repute, of fame, and so forth. But anyways, these three gifts represent that. The gold represents the kingly order. The incense represents the priestly order, and of course, the oil represents the prophethood order as well. But let me continue real quickly because we don't have much time. And it says here, and being warned of God in a dream, Okay, so even these pagan magicians were warned of God. Imagine that, in a dream. And they should not return to Herod. They departed into their own country another way. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream. Imagine that. Okay, so imagine this now. Now let me read the story. And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Okay? So, both the Magi and the father, and Joseph, yeah, have now been warned by an angel or by God in a dream to go elsewhere because Herod is going to attempt to destroy the child. Now, what's curious is we know that Joseph, Mary, went to Egypt with the baby Jesus. But they keep it on a slide where they don't tell you where the Magi went. As to say, the Magi did not go with Jesus back to their home country of Egypt. They keep that a mystery, though. They keep that a mystery. The only time that is hinted at, is inside of the infancy Gospels. Only time where you get the whole story. This is Apocrypha, by the way. This is Apocrypha. This is written by Christians in the 2nd century, right? The same century as the Gospels, the Gospel of John and so forth has been written. Same century, right? They tell you about the journey that Mary, Jesus, and Joseph had into Egypt, into the temples, conversating with the priests, healing the Egyptians, staying with the Pharaoh for an amount of time, 3 years, I believe. But anyways, this is what I'm saying. We don't get taught this stuff, you know. We don't get taught this stuff. But today, I'm just gonna drop these little hints, and hopefully, it will just ruminate. It will just seep into your pores, right? And then some of you will be like, nah, Callum, you're lying. This is what I love. I just want people to say, Callum, you're lying. You're a liar. I don't believe you. Because the moment you do that and you're actually sincere in your belief that Callum is lying, the next step and the next process is for you to go forward and research it and prove me wrong. And prove me wrong. So you're going to say, what Gospels are you talking about in the Apocrypha? Well, the infancy Gospel of Thomas, or the infancy Gospel of James, or the infancy Gospel of, or the pseudo Matthew, and so forth. Or are you talking about these types of Gospels here? Really, Callum? Really? Are you talking about that? And then you start reading it, and you be like, maybe there is something to do with these Egyptians. Maybe there is something to do with these high priests and these Magi's. Maybe, just maybe. But anyways, let me quickly carry on. And it says here, and yep, so we went and flee into Egypt, and there they were until he brought the word to St. Child. And when he rose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. And I'm going to drop a little one here as well, you know. Some of you guys need to actually see, this is the third prophecy with inside. Remember, three in Egyptian. Sorry, not in Egyptian. Yes, in Egyptian, but also in Christianity is a very potent and powerful number. This is the third prophecy. And it's a prophecy coming from Hosea. It's very key. And it's talking about Egypt. That his son will be called from Egypt. I'm not even going to break down the significance of that. I'm not going to break down the pedagogical implications of that. That any commentator on Jewish scripture, even Christian scripture, understands what this is implying. For those of you who don't know, I'm just going to tell you real quickly and not give you any evidence as such, because I ain't got time for that. But this is talking about Jesus being reared, raised, and educated in Egypt. Another time, another day, we'll break down the hermeneutics of this. But for now, we're just going to gloss over it like it's nothing. And we're even going to gloss over the fact that his son would be an Egyptian. Out of Egypt have I called my son. Why out of Egypt have I called my son? But that's a story for another day, because we ain't got time to prove that Jesus was an Egyptian, right? Half Egyptian. We ain't got time to prove that Jesus was half Egyptian or Egyptian heritage, right? We ain't got time for that. We ain't got time to prove to you that he was actually educated in Egypt and came back and taught some wondrous information. We ain't got time for that. But we're just going to drop these little hints and tips for the next time when we do a show, a proper long show, we'll bring forth all the information. Anyways, Gabs, let's come back to you. What are you saying? Talk to me, King.
Yes, sir. Boy, that was just a gloss. You know, a gloss, like you just glazed over. Do you know, it's not even a gloss. Do you know what that is? You know when you get a bagel, fresh bagel cut, and you want to spread that butter all over the flipping bagel. That's what that was. Just a little once over coating. That's all. That's all. Because I'm telling you, reading that, yeah, and sitting back and thinking makes you realize, bruh, okay. Do you know what I mean? But part of this stuff is what, I remember we were talking, I was saying, bro, I've had these things, these questions in my mind for a while. For a while, bro. One thing I was going to say earlier that you mentioned, a bit that you was reading, that kind of stuck in my mind, is when the wise men, or the Magi, gave the news to Herod, and then it says, Herod and the whole of Jerusalem were troubled, bro. Huh? Like, I can understand Herod, but why was the whole of Jerusalem troubled? This is about your Messiah to come, supposedly. What are you troubled about? Do you know? Yeah. And another bit that you was mentioning is true. Like these were pagan men coming to bring information that these guys understood. They didn't shun them. They didn't go, oh nah, these are pagans. We don't really, do you know what I mean? We don't really deal with this. Like there was no animosity towards them, nothing. Just pure listening to the point where they gave that info and Herod accepted it. Herod could have been like, bro, who are these guys? Who are these guys? So this is another proof to show me that Herod knew who exactly these guys were. Because how can you get 3 wise men or Magi just turn up at your doorstep and say, yo, where is the Messiah? Where's the king? We've come to hear there's a child that's going to be born. Where is he? We need to worship. Do you know what I mean? Herod could have been like, bro, who the heck are these guys? Who let them in? Who let them into the kingdom? You know what I mean? Like, who let these guys in talking this stuff about a king or a child to be born? What's he talking about? But bro, he knew exactly who they were. He heard them. He listened. They became troubled. And then he even said, oh, when you guys find him, come back and let me know so I can worship him too. Bro, this is some big boy stuff going on here, you know. Seriously.
Massive.
You know? And not only that, that's even making me to believe that there must have been more interactions with the Magi and the Jews, because for them to be able to accept their message, there must have been some sort of what's the word, interaction for them to understand that this might take place, that these guys will come again and give this news. There must have been, because like it's just random. Like when you just think about today. Imagine you're in your yard, you're the king of your house, yeah. 3 dons come from. They say we've traveled from far to give you news that a king's to be born. Then you're gonna be the first thing you're gonna think is, bro, who the heck are you? Now, who are you guys? Where did you come from? What king? What information is this? You're gonna ask questions. He didn't ask no questions, bro. He understood and he followed everything that they were saying, bro. Do you know what I mean? So those are the bits that was going through my mind while you was talking and breaking down the story.
You know? So it's very powerful. People need to understand these things.
I can't wait, to break down, about the expected Messiah during that period. the suffering servant during that period of time. That the Jews all acknowledge the fact that this Messiah to come, let me just bear in mind real quickly. Most people only know about one Messiah to come. Most people. Christians, the Messiah, one Messiah. But those who are in the know, let's just say Jewish people or Jewish scriptures, you could read Jewish scriptures from second century BCE to the 1st century CE, i.e. during the period of Christ. There's untold scriptures that tells you that there is two Messiahs. One, remember these key terms that I'm going to drop to you, because you lot could go ahead and do the research. Wikipedia is not too far away. Google is not too far away. Siri is not too far away. Hell, Alexa is not too far away. Right? There is two forms of Messiahs. The Messiah, Ben David. And then there's the Messiah, Ben Joseph. Two forms. One of the lineage of David and one of the lineage of Joseph, or the Ephraimites, or Ephraim, i.e. the Egyptians. Two forms. And this was no surprise for those of you guys who actually know history, actual history of what took place. For example, if you look at the Antiquities of the Jews or the Wars of the Jews written by Josephus, Flavius, quite clearly tells you that the Jews themselves acknowledge a Messiah. For him, led them astray. Guess the number of Jews that were supposedly led astray in a revolt by a Jewish Messiah. Sorry, by a Messiah who is also a prophet. Guess the number. Guess the number, Gabs. I'm going to let you guess the number. Just guess the number real quickly.
So you say that again. So guess the number
of Josephus, yeah, which is a historian. Okay,
Yeah,
he writes about a particular Messiah, prophet, who led the Jews astray in like a form of revolt against the Romans in Jerusalem on the Mount of Olives, where Jesus was, mind you, yeah, Jesus was, yeah. Guess the amount of followers that this particular person was able to capture as a Messiah. Real quickly, just get.
Yep. Amount of followers, yeah.
You don't have to be right. You're gonna be wrong anyway. It could be high number, low number. I'll give you the number. I'll give you it, but just guess.
100 people.
The number was more than 100, more than 1,000, more than 10,000. Is reported as 30,000 individuals. Okay, 30,000. And he was seen as a false Messiah, just as Jesus was seen as a false Messiah. And guess the heritage of this person. Guess the heritage.
Jew?
Egyptian, my nigga. So just realize, yeah, the Jews at that time expecting a Messiah accepted, 30,000 of them accepted a Messiah from Egyptian heritage. Egyptian heritage. That there is a pause for thought. That there is a pause for thought, because isn't the Messiah meant to be Jewish? Why is he Egyptian? Because y'all don't know the other prophecies of the Egyptian Messiah that was to come, who was the son of Joseph, i.e. son of the vizier. Remember, Joseph was the vizier of Egypt?
That's the one
who married
it makes sense.
The high priest of On's daughter?
Yep.
And had Egyptian children?
Yep.
That's a story for another day. We'll go into that for another time. Y'all don't know about this. So you know what I'm saying? We accept Jesus. We accept the Messiah. Furthermore, let's not even call him Jesus. Let's call him by his Egyptian name. Yehoshua. Yehoshua. Or Yeshua. Most people think that's actually a Hebrew name. But you have to ask yourself, the first Yeshua or Yehoshua, where did he come from? Who was he the son of? and who gave him the extension Yah to his original name, Hoshua. And for those of us who know what the word Hoshua means, it actually means to save or to preserve or to save or to preserve, which is nothing other than the Egyptian word, the wajet. You know, we have the wajet, the eye.
Wajet, yeah.
Yeah, that's where the name comes from. That's where the name, literally, that's where the name comes from. Don't like Google, do Sheikh Google. Look at the go onto academia and see what they say. Where the name Joshua, Hoshua, Yehoshua, Hosea comes from. It's actually an Egyptian word, but that's a story for another day. Y'all don't even know that Jesus had an Egyptian name, but that's a story for another day. Another day. Let me just be merry and drink my cognac. Hopefully, I get sponsored soon. Because we're bringing that forward, that Napoleon-like information, that revolutionary information. But yeah. Let's do this. So what were we saying again? We're saying about the Egyptian Messiah. Yeah, no, most people don't understand this. Don't understand why Jesus had to have come out of Egypt. Don't understand this. They don't understand this. But we will explain it another day. All right, and we will explain the Kemetic elements another time. But Gabs, if you want to say anything, please do.
Mate, that's serious, you know. It all started to make sense. You know why? Because even when you said that, now that even got me thinking it's true. Because when how many sons is it? The sons of Joseph, and how many sons were there? Is it 13 or 12?
Jacob had 12 sons and one daughter, I believe.
12 sons.
Yeah, 12 sons. But Joseph had supposedly 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim.
Yeah,
that's it. So when it's funny now because when you deal with that story now, and you get to the end in the end, you realize that Joseph he literally got married. He lived in Egypt. He became a high priest there. He lived in Egypt. He got married to an Egyptian woman, had Egyptian kids. It's like after that, the whole tale just goes.
Then,
don't forget the Egyptian burial as well, right?
Egyptian burial. Sorry, yeah, the Egyptian burial. Everything. He followed the whole customs to the T. Yeah, and not only that, he brought his brothers into that fold. This is what people don't realize. Now, you got to think like this. Your brother has a high place in the country, like a governor type. Let's just say like a president, yeah, of a country. Not just any small country. We're talking about Egypt at this point in time, yeah? He had a big portion of land, yeah, and he was a president. At this time, the brothers were seen as just like what they were, what's them words? What they called as people that come to do trade, just didn't have like a big title, just trading, trying to go by their word to make their ends meet. Now, your brother, who is the president, yeah, bear this in mind, has now obviously followed a new customs and a new way of life in this land that he lives. Now, you find out that your brother is actually the president of this new place. Now, your brother says, come. He brings you in. After all the stuff that you did, he says, come. He brings you in, introduce you to his wife. You see his kids, the Egyptian and everything. Now, that brother, surely that president is going to be telling his brothers and showing them all the traditions and the customs of where he's been living. And for his brothers to then live in that same particular place, guess what they're going to have to do? They're going to have to follow the same traditions and customs. Bro. Do you understand? Now, what the Bible does, though, after the brothers come in, it kind of says, and then 70, remember, it says 70 of them came in. I think 70 or 70 of them came in, and then it just says they lived there, and then arose a pharaoh. I think it just skips to then arose a pharaoh who knew not Joseph. Yeah. However, how many years that was? How many years is that? I think that was a good couple 100 years or something like that. So, but my thing is this. Before we skip to that, what was going on with that family, them 70? Remember, this is a key thing. those 70 plus people, whoever they was, just a small bunch of people, handful, moving into this big landmass of Egypt, yeah, big tradition, culture, everything, moving in, what was going on throughout that whole time that they were there? Surely they would have been mixing. Surely they would have been integrated into the customs and the teachings. All of this stuff would have been there. It would have been there, bro. You know? Because then now this makes sense to why you're saying that, there had to be a Messiah from the lineage of Joseph. Who did his daughters marry? No one knows. I don't know. Who did his daughters marry?
Jeez.
These are the questions. These are the questions that start arising in your brain, in your faculties.
That's it. We just want to bring questions. We just want to bring questions. We just want to get your mind to start thinking. That's all. That's all. Just start thinking. Start thinking. That's all.
And this is why one thing that I remember, one big thing that I remember I used to say back in the day is this: if you take Egypt out of the biblical texts, just remove it. What do we have? What do we have left? If you just remove any form of Egypt, people say, nah, Egypt is just a place where the slaves and it's not any significant. Take away the Egyptian influence or anything to do with Egypt out of the Bible. Tell me what stories you would have. Because then guess what? Jesus doesn't end up going to where he needs to go when he was a child. The angel doesn't get to deliver his message telling Joseph to arise and take the child. The wise men don't appear. Before we even get there, the vizier, Joseph, doesn't go into the land. Doesn't meet his wife, doesn't have his kids.
Moses. Huh?
Oh, Moses,
Oh, Moses.
Keep going. Keep going.
And we keep going further back. Who else? Abraham. Doesn't go into the land. Doesn't understand circumcision. Doesn't get that custom. Huh? Bro, we can keep going further and further and further back. If you take
the fold. Go on, bro.
the fold.
Then you got more to add.
Bro, we could keep going to Noah.
Noah.
We go to Noah. Then we go backwards even into Enoch. God damn.
Do you know what I mean? If you take them out of the fold, this is what I'm trying to show people. So what we're giving to you is some big things. Don't, you may be cracking jokes and, we do our things, but serious. These are questions you got to put in your head because we're showing you a side, to the biblical text and to history that people just don't talk about. That's why people look at the Bible and they don't understand certain things. They're like, okay, yeah, I get it, but Bible's a bit confusing. But yeah.
All right, guys, listen. Literally, yeah, we have no time left. To be honest with you, we have literally no time left because the show was meant to be for like 60 minutes and it's coming up right now. We're on the 58 minutes, so 2 minutes technically speaking left. But if you can just smell the aroma that's percolating right now from the kitchen. My food is ready. My food is ready. Oh yeah, my food is ready. This type of talk that Jesus used to say, back in the day, oh yeah, the food is ready. The food is ready. Man must not live by bread alone. And when you break bread, in order to break the bread, yeah, you must be with more than one. Because if you was with by yourself, you would have just eaten it, gugum, 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 gugum. But in order to break bread, Abi, you must be giving it to other people. So right now, my whole family, I have to break bread with. Because man does not live by bread alone, but by the word that comes from the Lord and so forth, yeah? But so far, we've been giving you the word of the Lord, but there's another word of the Lord that comes fundamentally second, right? Which is what? Honor thy mother and thy father for thy days to be long. And I have to honor the traditions of my mother and my father by going and eating with my mother and my father for my days to be long, family. God damn it. So yeah, I've got to go, family. I got to go. But what I would love to do though, hopefully we've got like 30 seconds or a minute left. Can I just please join the link? Go on Skype, There you go. The link is there. I think we've got one brother. Real quickly, I just want to do this because I might be missing out a lot of people. How do I add to the call? Let me see. Add my brother to the call. Yeah, real quickly. This is going to be off air, by the way. Like, if you don't want to come in, you can quickly try to come in. But most of this stuff is going to be off air because I need to eat food. All right, let me quickly read your comments though as well. So, family, if you love the show and you love all the information that we do all the time, please hit up the like button right now. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. I know some of you guys who may be Christians or maybe whatever the case is may not be liking the show because we're now going into Christianity and giving you something that makes you think differently. Usually we do this with Islam, but today we're doing it with Christianity, and for a little while now we're going to continue to do things with Christianity to have a nice little balance. Don't shoot us down, okay? We're just trying to give you guys to think about. We're not saying that you have to agree with us. It's just certain things to think about. And if you can come on and actually discuss with us and even dialogue and debate with us, that's great, because we're doing this not because we're vain. We want to be educated and edify other people as well. So we will be humble enough to come on, for you to come on and we to listen and to learn from you guys and hear another perspective. So if you have the capacity, the capability, the tenacity, the audacity to come on Titans TV, please, 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 please do come on to Titans TV. The link is down below for the future. Kalam at outlook.com. Okay, KALAMEL at outlook.com. That's the Skype address. Add me on there, and I will do my very best to get you on as soon as possible. Real quickly, let me just read out some of the comments. You run out of time because your presentation has too much fluff. Stick to the point. Indeed, it does have a lot of fluff. We have to have a little fun, joke, and jest, and so forth. Otherwise, it gets boring. Have you not seen a lecture? Have you not attended a lecture? Some of our followers have ADHD, mind you. So we have to just break it up a little bit, okay? But yeah, come to a class session. Pay. Come in, pay some money. Yeah, £20 a class session, and we'll just give you straight information. Straight information. Pay your money. This is free. Pay your money. We'll give it to you like that. Alright. The White Church and the Pope obviously kept the knowledge hidden. They suppressed a lot of information. They did. We'll give you that another time. Actually, I think your Christian subscribers appreciate your show. It's your Kemet brothers who are flipping out. Most probably, I do think so as well. Like, Kemetics might just be flipping out on this. Might just be flipping out. But if we go into what the gospel accounts and the apocryphal accounts has to say, they actually do say that the Kemetics actually acknowledge Jesus as being the Son of God, which should be nothing too mad for us because we understand that the Pharaoh is the Son of God. It goes through that lineage. He is the successor. He has the incarnation of the Spirit of God inside of him. He is the Logos, right? We have no problem with it. No problem with it at all, okay? Kemetics, we should have no problem with the Trinity. No problem with the theological aspects of Christianity. Even the Christians themselves were arguing against each other. For example, Arian arguing against the other Christians, saying, you know what? You lot got this information from who? From Hermes, which is, of course, Thoth, Jehuti, the Egyptians, and Plato. That's where you got your information about the Trinity from. And indeed, we had this information 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, even 6,000 years ago. It's nothing new to us. It's just that the Jews or the Judeans are now catching up with this information, hence Christianity. But we already had this. We already had this. We taught this. But anyways, Mary was 13 years old. Why show her as an adult woman? Mary was 13 years of age? Anyways, great catching up with my brother. Enjoy your time with family and friends during the festive season. Indeed, 100%. So, family, Gabs, did you have anything to say? I've read out your comments, right? I've read out your comments. Don't say I didn't read out your lot's comments. Next time, Tag Titans TV. Gabs, any closing words? We could possibly do a show later on, but any closing words?
Yeah, closing word. Say peace to everybody. I hope everybody enjoys their day, enjoys their holidays. And this was a good show from Titans TV. All that information, when Kalam puts it up, make sure you go back over it, research it, listen to it again, keep some of your information, and please get involved. Like what the brother's saying, get involved.
Get involved. Those of you that don't get a chance to speak, Oh, okay. I was gonna say peace, everyone. Hope everybody's enjoyed the show. Also, I hope everyone enjoys the holidays and the rest of the day. And also, I would say, like the show because Times TV is giving you that information. Yeah, bringing that work, that info that you just don't get. That I know of, you just don't get anywhere else. So what I would say as well, people, please, like what Kalam's saying, please, get involved. For those of you that have questions and things that you want to get off your mind pertaining to this information, tag the information, tag the questions that you have, and jump on the panel so we can hear it. This is what it's here for. This stuff's for you. It's for us. It's for everybody to get involved. Get your points across so we could grow together. That's all. We're learning together. That's what you want, don't you? No? Let's do it. So peace to everyone. That's me. I'm about to enjoy my food as well soon in a bit, with some jollof rice. So you dig? Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hey yo. So listen, from the Titans TV family, myself and Gabs, listen, we're wishing you lot a happy and merry Christmas, and I hope you lot gonna have many more Christmas. I hope you guys embody the spirit of Christmas, i.e., the spirit of the savior of humanity. If not that, embody the spirit of being gracious, embody the spirit of being generous and charitable and loving your fellow man, and actually being able to fellowship and commune with each other regardless of your faiths and beliefs or creed or color or ethnicity, as we can quite clearly see based upon the pagan magicians coming to Jesus Christ and acknowledging him as such. All right, so peace and love to you all from myself and Gabs in the name of Jesus Christ himself, or Yahushua. Shalom, shalom, peace, and hotep. Oh, man. Young Cali, baby.